You will suffer tremendously in this life that you live because you shine so bright. And the only way the suffering will end is the moment you realize who you really are. There is in fact only one path for the ones that shine very bright, and that is the path of complete undoing. Waking up, coming home to source. But before you get there, you experience a tremendous amount of suffering. And because of the suffering, you will also find your way home. So you might say it's curse and a blessing simultaneously. But the pain will remain, that the sharpness of pain will remain. Only it's a choice whether it will become a suffering or it will just remain pain. Because your frequency will always be a lot higher than the frequency of the collective. You will always feel the suffering and the trauma and the density of this world. Also, that will not change. You will become maybe more resilient to it. You might be able to endure it in longer periods, but it will remain a pain. So befriending this pain, this sharp pain, and I know a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about, will be an inevitable in this lifetime. The brighter your light, the darker the shadow. In other words, the higher the frequency, the sharper the pain. It's the price that you need to pay for seeing truth, for being truth, for carrying truth. Whatever word you like to apply to it. And that's also the reason why in the beginning of your life and till a very big halfway of your life, you will struggle with addiction. You will have addictive behaviors, because when you're not awakened yet and you carry this light already from birth, the amount of suffering is so immensely big, because essence is not strong enough to observe, to be present in this lila, that you're going to find already as a young child, you're going to find ways to numb out, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whether it's behavioral addictions like codependency or sex and love addiction, whether it's a gambling addiction. So people who carry that amount of bright light will start their life in a very dysfunctional way. It's almost undoable to to live. And then there comes a point, because unfortunately a lot of the bright lights decide to step out, decide to commit suicide. And then there are those who kill themselves by becoming so immensely destructive that the body just gives up. And there is also a group of souls who decide to bow and to hear the call of God. And then this journey of I don't even know what kind of words to describe it. The journey of years and years of shadow work and feeling and digesting and bowing and softening start. Because it simply is the only way. It's just, it is a bend or break. Everyone who knows by now their light shines very bright, knows in their life there has been a point, a big decision point. Am I going to bend or am I going to break? And I guess since you are watching this video, you are part of the last group that decided to put their will, to put your will in the hands of God. Because that is ultimately the path of the ones whose light shines so bright. There's only one path, and that's the path home, towards the source. And that may mean, not that may mean, that means that your life is not your own anymore. Please try to let that sink in, what I'm saying. Your life is not your own anymore. And with your own, I mean the ego. There is no will anymore. If you do decide to pick up your ego, and that ego, that personality is so destructive, so traumatized, so disabled, because of the dichotomy between your light and the violence that has been coming at you, the low frequency that has been coming at you from child on. Therefore you have created so much disabled and dysfunctional ways of being, that you will go downwards in a spiral very, very fast. Each time you try to pick it up, you will spiral down in a very quick pace, until there is only one choice left, and that is give yourself to God. Pray every day, meditate every day. Your life is about a higher calling. It's not about what's going on this planet. It's not you functioning in this earthly realm. It's becoming becoming an employee of God, whatever that means, because the form is for everyone different. But the moment you start surrendering to source, Your life will unfold exactly as God intended your life to unfold. And that molding takes time. For God to mold you the way he sees fit takes time, because ego is not going to surrender all of a sudden. It will take years of undoing yourself of addictive behaviors. It will take years of undoing yourself of trauma. So almost every one of you will recognize the isolation that at one point you are being put in. It's God's way of His school, Him teaching you. Because when you retreat out of chaos, out of the outside world, you will be forced to go inward. Forced to transmute, alchemize what is not, what doesn't belong with Source. And that isolation can take 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, just as long as God sees fit. And that is a trust that we all need to start embodying, to trust that there will come a time where isolation moves into something different. But the moment you will try to force, you pick up your ego again, you will only lengthen the isolation phase you are in. It's the same with, for instance, an apple tree. You cannot force the apple tree to be ready to blossom. You cannot force an apple tree to grow apples in the winter. It's all about becoming in complete awe of Source, of God, of Essence, whatever you like to call it. I know some people have problems with the word God, so name it whatever you see fit. Start honoring the natural cycles that you're in your life. Some people are in a cycle of activity, other people are in a cycle of deep, deep rest, deep isolation. You will notice you will become more and more silent. You have less and less the urge to let yourself be known, to prove anything to anyone. As I read it a few days ago, it was a beautiful sentence. It is being no one in particular, going nowhere. And if you are feeling you are being molded in becoming no one in particular and going nowhere, You know you are a light bearer. And that is the job. And that is a very, very hard job that not a lot of souls can handle. So be proud of being a light bearer. Shining your light.